Okay, guys, welcome to Home Boss. We're going to go over the Home Boss online offers platform. We're going to go over how to talk to a seller. We're going to talk about samples that you can use when talking to a seller. We're going to go over My Plus Leads. We're going to go over scripting. We're going to go over marketing. We're going to go over Home Boss University. We're going to go over EXP Explained. And we're going to watch a quick 9-minute video, the updated EXP Explained. We're going to go over the EXP slides and the features and benefits that EXP has for all of us with EXP. We're going to go over building up agents for when you're on agent attraction. We're going to go over building up agents. So it's a great website when you're agent attracting, but it's also good for you to have knowledge of the website, so you can actually increase your business, not only your real estate business, but your agent attraction business as well. We're going to show you a Zoom link should you have a seller that you want to get me on the phone with, or if you want to get an agent on the phone for agent attraction, certainly reach out to me. Let's do that. A lot of you on this call, excuse me, we've gone through seller consultations. We've gone through agent attraction consultations. So that's certainly a great way to not only grow your inventory, but it's also a great way to grow your revenue share group. And we're going to get started. So basically what we have here is the listing presentation that I go over sellers. So I introduce who I am. I'm a broker associate, been in the business 36 years in real estate. I'm a certified mentor with EXP. I have about 34, 35 new mentees, agents that are just getting started in the business, agents that have been in the business for quite some time, but maybe haven't done a transaction. So it's a great way to help those agents with their first 3 transactions. You can see you have my contact information on here, my cell phone, my email, and our online offers platform web address. So let's get started. The biggest thing in real estate is the future ain't what it used to be. I always like to start off with this because this business is changing all the time. So one thing I can tell you this, that I've seen a couple different REO markets. I've seen some sellers markets, nothing quite like what we are seeing right now with multiple offers. And the reason why we want to go over the Home Boss platform is because the multiple offers plays right into our hand. It plays right into the sellers getting that goal. And that's the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time. We're going to go over that here in a second. What we have here is we're going to go into the now business. Because at the end of the day, the now business is really what we need to focus on, but we also need to keep in mind of what's the next market coming up. We're going to go over how to take 2 to 3 listings each and every week. Now, I don't know anybody on this call that wouldn't be okay with taking at least 2 or 3 listings per week. How to get 6% listings. And I talked to William today, and he talked about 7% listings, and I think that's a fabulous idea. I've taken 8% listings. There's nothing that says in the contract that you can't charge 7, 8, even 9%. I have friends charging 9%. I mean, it's certainly okay. It's just a matter of how you package it up. But we're going to talk about how to get 6% listings by charging what the seller has already agreed to pay the buyer agent. So we're going to walk into that. And here's a marketing piece that I use. You're certainly welcome to use this in your own marketing. If you want to obviously take my name off and put yours on, I did a marketing piece to 2,500 homes around my neighborhood. I actually received a call this morning, and I'll be meeting with that potential seller in the next few weeks because they're getting ready to put their home on the market. So it's a great way to get out there and really become the mayor of your town. I'm a fan of marketing to my neighbors. I would like to just go next door and take that listing. So the closer that the listing is to my home, the better. I don't necessarily want to travel too far to go take these listings. So you want to become the market expert in your neighborhood. And I mailed out 2,500. There's about a 2,500 home range in my neighborhood. So I hammered all of them, and I'll continue to keep consistent with that marketing. Don't just think you're going to do a marketing piece and you just do it one time and that's all you need. It's got to be consistent. I use every door direct. It's through the post office. That means every single door gets my marketing. So it's a great way to get it out there. We're going to touch a little bit on the future business. Future business meaning the REO business. I'm an REO broker in the 90s. I was an REO broker in the early 2000s. and I am currently an EXP certified REO trainer for EXP. Some of you have been to the class in the world, and it's now called Megaverse. So that's going to be kind of fun. So are you positioned to get the REO listings? Meaning, are you filling out your, preparing a resume? Are you filling out the applications to get with the BPO and REO companies out there? So are you positioned? We have great REO training to get you positioned for that business. Now, let me just make one quick disclosure. I do not want anyone to lose their home. However, it's a fact of life that people lose their homes, especially in today's environment. You're going to see, between 18 and 24 months, you'll see that market rear its ugly head, and you need to be positioned and ready. Do you either want to take listings or be a buyer agent in that market? The REO market is very similar to a seller's market. It's, the inventory is going to be the gold. So make sure you're positioned in the REO space. We're going to talk about the HomeBoss iBuyer program. Our website is homebossoffers.com, where sellers get paid 100% of appraisal value. They get 90% upfront and 10% at closing. And it's a fantastic way to stay in the conversation. Stay in the conversation with a seller that has maybe talked to Opendoor or OfferPad or any other cash investor. But you got to remember, cash means discount. So it's certainly a way to stay involved in the conversation, because Opendoor and OfferPad, they typically are any cash offer for that matter, but they're spending millions of dollars on marketing to the consumer and offering them a cash solution. You need to have that conversation, because Opendoor and OfferPad, those are just robots. They're, people behind a computer screen. If you can reach out to your consumer in your neighborhood, in your neck of the woods, your market area, and you're a live breathing person that knows the market, you're going to have a leg up in terms of cash offers. Now, remember, their cash offers don't always necessarily mean the highest net to a seller. It's more of a convenience factor. But if you can get into the conversation, have that home boss offers type of conversation, iBuyer conversation, and then you can turn them to a home boss online offers platform. Because inevitably, one thing you need to remember, and it's always been true, one thing stays the same, is the seller's objection is to get the highest and best price, shortest amount of time, with the least amount of hassles, liability, and expense. That is true for every single seller I've ever talked to. So you need to make sure you keep that in mind. As a listing agent, your fiduciary responsibility is to get the highest and best price, shortest amount of time, least amount of hassles. Hassles meaning random showings just scattered through the week. We do a Saturday and or Sunday open house, so it's convenient for the sellers. I had a seller that literally would buff their floors before every showing. And can you imagine, after spending an hour or so buffing your floors for a showing that never shows up? That would constitute a hassle. The liability is great in this business, and it's the most litigious business in the planet. So we need to make sure that we're letting them know that we're not only there getting them the highest and best price, but we're there to protect them, and also the least amount of expense. I've never met a FSBO that didn't want the highest and best price with the least amount of expense. All of them don't list with an agent because of one thing. They don't want to pay a commission. So if we can tackle the for sale by owners goals and show them how we can get the highest and best price using our online offers platform, and they don't have to pay all the commission, that's a win. You just need to break down that wall. But most for sale by owners are so fed up with calls and text and emails and marketing from other agents simply trying to list their property. If you can go in there with another value add to not only get them the highest and best price, but eliminate some of those expenses, you're going to get their attention. So that's time tested. Now, before, in the past, we only had two options: a cash sale, which has always been there, and the traditional sale, where the agent would basically put that listing in the MLS and let God sort it out, as I like to say. Put it in the MLS and just hope a bunch of buyers come and see it, maybe hold an open house or two. But that's the traditional way of going. But I always like to say, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. And now what we've done is we've created the third option, and that's the online offers platform. It's a different way of marketing that brings excitement, competition, higher sales prices, lower fees to the seller. Those are the things that matter. And the best of all, it only takes 14 days. Just about every single for sale by owner I talk to, expireds and canceleds alike, they don't want to sign some long, lengthy 6-month contract like we've all been taught before to take. Now what we're doing is we're letting them know that we only need a 14-day window to market their home. So the online offers platform is the best way to do that. We'll list the property for 14 days. And then once we get it in escrow, we'll extend that listing contract to match that of the escrow of the buyer that the seller has agreed to. For example, if it's 30-day escrow, you extend for 35 days to give a 5-day buffer. If it's a 45-day escrow, you would extend it for 50. But the initial commitment is only 14 days. So it's a great way to alleviate not only getting them the highest and best price with the least amount of expense, but that long-term contract that a lot of sellers are asked to pay, to commit to from the listing agent. So that's the old school way of doing things. Another old school way of doing things is pricing the property at the highest point and then negotiating down. We've turned it on its head. What we do is we price it 15% below market and drive the price up to and beyond the seller's goal price with our online transparency, allowing the buyers to compete against each other. And remember this, when buyers compete, sellers win. Instead of negotiating down like we were taught, we're negotiating up to, and who knows where that ceiling will be, because at the end of the day, buyers are the ones that determine sales price, not the sellers, not the agents. It's the buyers that determine the market value. Here's a little rundown on the science of pricing. So if you price it at market value, you may get 60% of the potential buyers to look at the property. But when you drop it 15% below market, you're going to increase that traffic by 30%. What that means is you're going to get a lot of traffic into that property. But the biggest thing is we're going to get a bunch of people that maybe don't qualify, don't like that price, anything higher than, or they just may not like the home. But what it does, it creates a buzz at the open house. There's a lot of folks at these open houses. Those of you that have done this know the dynamic of having multiple buyers at the property. That FOMO kicks in, that fear of missing out kicks in, and it creates that buyer urgency, therefore a bidding war. So you're going to have a seller that says, oh, I'm not pricing my property 15% below. No way, that's scary. Well, we have the right to accept, counter, or reject any offer that comes in. So if they can understand the dynamics of that, and our goal is to start low and drive the price up to and beyond their goal, sometimes it's not as easy to tell them, so you need to show them. And here's what I show the sellers. And I ask them this question on my Zoom calls. All of my listing appointments are done via Zoom, initially anyway, to create that motivation, try to find out what the seller's motivation is. And then if I need to walk the property, I'll certainly do that, meet the seller, take the photos and do that. But what I do is I show the sellers this slide, which will attract more buyers. At the end of the day, that's really the number one goal initially, is to drive maximum buyers. So I'll tell the seller, this is your home, priced 3 different ways. Which one of these prices would attract more buyers? Property A is at 600,000. Property B is at 7. Property A or C is at 8. Which one's going to drive more traffic? And they always pick property A. So they've answered that question about pricing. Pricing's key because you want to drive as much traffic and you want to drive as much interest. So somebody may qualify for 6, but not 7. So we'll get all the early bidders to show interest, and then the 700 crowd will appear, then the 800 crowd. And then our goal is to drive up to and beyond. And we have plenty of examples, and I'll share one with you today about how we do that. Because remember this, it's all about perception. 3 strategies for pricing are as follows. Price it high, you attract less buyers. That's just simple math. You price it at market, sure, you're going to attract more buyers. But remember, sellers always want to price it high and negotiate down. So you're going to get less buyers. Price it at market, which is very difficult to do sometimes for a seller because they always want more and negotiate down. But if you price it below market, you get maximum buyers Therefore, you get a bidding war. And that is what we're creating here with the Home Boss online offers platform. Now I'm going to go over some of the benefits of using the online offers platform. It's a simple sales process that requires no negotiating on your part, Mr. Seller. The buyer pays most all the commissions. They love that. They love the fact that the buyers pay a good portion of the commissions. Because guys, remember, when you're writing an offer, who's paying the commissions in a traditional real estate transaction? The answer is the buyer is. When they write their offer, they bring their down payment, their loan amount equals sales price. Sales price minus commissions equals seller's net. The buyers pay the commissions. Sure, the seller pays it with the buyer's money. And if you can convey that, sellers love it. The deadline, let me explain the deadline. We do an open house Saturday and or Sunday, depending on if it's tenant occupied or if it's occupied and they only want to do one open house. But ideally, they'll do a Saturday and Sunday. I don't necessarily do that every single time, but I'm telling you, if you do Saturday and Sunday, you're going to drive maximum opportunity for that seller. That very next Wednesday at 7 p.m. is when we ask for the offers to be due. That's the deadline. And what that does, that creates buyer urgency. Okay. We're eliminating the carrying costs because our timeline is only 14 days. We market the property. We don't let anybody see it until the open house. We get all the traffic there on the open house dates. And then a few days later at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, all the offers are due. And then we go into escrow, whether it be a 30, 40, or however long the escrow period that the buyer and seller agree to. The seller sets the terms of the property, the open house. So what meets their needs. For instance, we have a property up in Cathedral City that is a complete hoarder house. It's literally, there's so much stuff in this home. The bathtubs are filled with crap. And literally like hair products and curling irons. It is ridiculous. So you certainly don't want to do an open house unless the seller's ready. Another example, if it's tenant occupied, we just did a tenant occupied property. We need to give the tenants proper notice. So the deadline and the terms are based around the seller's life so they can plan accordingly. The buyers are the ones that are placing the offer. So the sellers, they receive the true market value for the home. Now, I've had sellers that are really ambitious with their sales price, but when we get 36, 34, however many offers, the market has spoke. So the true market value, what a buyer's willing to pay, we arrive at a market price. So we receive the true market value for their home. It's no hassles. There's no random showings that never show up. Like I mentioned with my guy doing his floors every time before a showing. Can you imagine how frustrating that can be for a seller when an agent says they're going to be there at a certain time and they don't show up? And whose fault is that if they don't show up? It's yours as the listing agent. So there's no hassles, no random showings, definitely less inconvenience. We keep because so many people, when their home is on the market, back in the old days, we would beg with the sellers to keep their home clean at all times. That's difficult when you have a family, you have pets, you have a life. There's stuff out in the kitchen. There's you forgot to, make your bed and put your clothes away because you ran to the office because you're late. There's no inconvenience because they can prepare. The sellers can prepare for the open house or open houses should you do Saturday and Sunday, so they don't have to keep their home clean for weeks. They only have to get it clean for that showing period. There's no worries because the biggest thing that sellers need to understand, we're allowing them to continue to pay what they already set out to pay. I'll get on the phone with the seller, for sale by owner example, and I'll ask them, hi, this is Robert with EXP. I'm calling about your home at 123 Main Street. Is it still available? They say, yes, it is. And then I'll say, great, if I was to bring you an offer at a price was acceptable, are you willing to pay the standard 3%? I get a lot of yeses and I get some nos. But the point is, we're customizing this platform around what the seller has already agreed to pay. So the biggest thing is we're allowing them to get the amount that they're willing to pay and not a bit more. And they get all of this expert service that we can bolt on to what they're already doing. So it's fantastic. and I'll answer some questions as soon as we're done. And a lot of sellers ask, well, how are you going to market my home? When we go to the MLS, we do what's called an Idx feed, which a lot of you are familiar with. Our Idx feed allows us to go to every single real estate website on the planet. Because right now, if they're going to Zillow to place their home for sale, they'll go to Zillow and it automatically populates to Trulia because they're owned by Zillow. But what they're doing there is they're limiting their opportunity because they're only in Zillow and Trulia. And they might be at a couple different websites, but for the most part, they're not letting the world know their home's for sale. Plus, by not being in the MLS, they're eliminating 20,000+ agents that have access to the MLS, but have no idea that home's for sale. So when they list with us, they're getting access to the MLS and we market it to every single website on the planet. So that's huge. We're bolting on a great opportunity for that seller to market it to the highest and best buyer. Now, here's some traffic we did on an open house back in the beginning. And look at the line of people outside that home. What do you think's going through their mind? They're thinking, there's no way we're going to pay that low start price. They've already made that decision that there's no way we're going to get it for that low 15% below market. Look at all the people that want this home. This is what you want to do for your open houses. You want to drive maximum traffic, but what you want to do is keep them to a 15-minute showing window. And you can see an example here, every 15 minutes, starting at 9, ending at 6. This, of course, is during the summer, but every 15 minutes, we're getting a new group of people through. That is how you drive massive exposure to your listing in a very small window. Keep in mind, these are mostly agents with their buyers because they pulled the link off the showing instructions in the MLS. I can tell you this, these are the agents. That does not count all the buyers that show up. We're averaging 40, 50 buyers that come in unannounced that also show up. So you're creating massive buzz. And it's also a great way to build your team. If you've got that many buyers coming to your open house that are coming there without an agent, it's a great way to grow your buyer team to make sure that you're keeping those buyer agents really busy. So it's fantastic. It's a great way to go. If you don't have a buyer team, I would recommend you reach out to other agents in the area and say, listen, I'm having an open house at 123 Main Street this coming weekend. We're sure to have a boatload of buyer traffic. Are you looking to increase your business? Build your buyer team that way. Because guys, remember this, when buyers compete, sellers win. That's the bottom line. This is a fantastic, transparent online platform that allows the buyers to do just that. Now, here's some marketing that I shared with you a little bit ago. You can certainly take this and if you don't have it, I'll send it to you. That's fine. Most of you I've sent, but could you take a listing for 0% commission? Now, we don't market 0% commission, but if you get a for sale by owner that does not want to pay any commission, we can certainly tackle that listing. Let me give you an example. This is a property up in UTC, 4036 Camino Calma. The call went like this. Hi, this is Robert with EXP calling about your property at 4036 Camino Calma. Is it still available? She goes, yes, it is. Great. If I was to bring you an offer at a price was acceptable, are you willing to pay the 3% buyer's fee? She goes, I'm not paying any commissions to anybody. And matter of fact, I'm not even paying for a home warranty. Thought it was a little random, a little out of left field, but nonetheless, she's a typical for sale by owner that doesn't want to pay any commissions. Normally, us agents would just turn around and walk away after trying to convince them to pay a commission. Our platform allows us to take that listing and charge what's called an agent compensation, where the buyer pays the commissions. For example, this seller wanted $635. We ended up getting her $679, and the buyer paid 6%. So let me show you how that works. Here's the transparent offers platform right here at work. When somebody comes in and places a bid, the other agents have a chance to outbid that buyer. And here's how it works. Here's the back office. This is what the agents see, and they know that the buyer is paying the commissions. Because at the end of the day, who's paying the commissions? The buyer is when they write their offer. You just got to explain it. You got to understand how it works. Now, we used to call it buyer premium. Now we call it agent compensation. We used to call it bids. Now we call them offers. We used to call it an auction platform. Now we call it an online offers platform, but the same message. The buyers are paying it. They're adding it to the seller's goal price and therefore creating a final sales price. Let me give you another example. This is 5928 Riley Street. This seller only wanted to pay 2%. Instead of trying to convince her otherwise, the seller paid 2, the buyer paid 4 for a 3 to the buyer agent, 3 to the listing agent. This seller wanted $675 for her home. We drove the price up to $780. Then the buyer paid their 4% for a total purchase price of $811. Now let me show you how this worked. The seller wanted $675. She calls me up once we got to $675. We still had 2 hours left on the, for offers to come in. She called me like at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday. And she said, hey, we're at $675. All right, let's go to escrow. I said, Sheila, we still have 2 more hours to let buyers come in there and compete, therefore driving that price up beyond $675. My recommendation is let it play out. So I knew she liked Chardonnay. I said, grab a glass of Chardonnay, put it on your Apple TV and watch the bidding come in. Well, we got 700. She's all excited. And watch this. Because of the transparent bidding, these bidders, these offers came in and blew right by her $675. We ended up getting her $780. That's $105,000 more than she ever dreamed of getting. She literally was convinced it was only worth $675. We changed her mind, didn't we? Now remember, the buyer paid 4% because the seller is willing to pay 2%. It's a simple math question. Take 6% minus what the seller said that they would be willing to pay, and that's what your agent compensation would be. It's a very, very simple math question. Here's the roadmap. The first thing you need to do is you need to obviously reach out to the seller, get them fired up about your platform. And I'm going to show you some ways to do that here in a second, but you need to set up the initial meeting, get the agreement signed. We establish a price. Price is key. You've got sellers that are very ambitious in this market. You need to bring that seller to reality and within range, because remember, we're pricing at 15% below that number. But if they're 15% overpriced, all we're doing is we're bringing them down to market value. So we really need to get the price nailed down first. And then we need to figure out what they're willing to pay. Once you get those 2 things handled, then we prepare their home for a 1-day or 2-day open house. We have the online offers. We drive all the buyers to the online offers platform. Once the offers are done and it's ended, we can accept, counter, reject multiple offers or just the one winning bid. Once we accept the offer, we open up escrow and we close. We give the sellers a complete roadmap of how it works. So the biggest thing you need to ask yourself, Mr. Seller, the world's finest art, classic cars, yachts, and antiques are all sold on an offers platform. Why not your home? So what I do is I ask them if they have any questions. I say getting started is easy. They need to sign the listing agreement today. They need to begin the marketing. Typically what we'll do is we'll begin the marketing on, say, a Monday, depending on when we meet the seller. We usually skip the next weekend, and the very weekend after that is when we'll have our Saturday and or Sunday open house. The offers begin after the open house is done. What I don't want to do is have the buyers start placing their offers after they leave the open house, because what that'll do is, in many cases, if somebody was coming because of that lower price and they already see that offers are maybe above what they're willing to pay initially, they may cancel the appointment. So no offers are allowed to be placed until after the open house and we receive their proof of funds and their pre-approval letter. And all offers are due Wednesday at 7 p.m. At that point, we can accept, counter, reject any offer. We have that right. The seller has that right. They can accept the best offer, the best terms and conditions that meet their needs. We open up escrow and we close. It's that easy. The biggest thing you need to do is get in front of as many sellers as you can. You need to get in front of FSBOs, expireds, canceled, probate, divorce. Heck, guys, anybody in your phone is a great candidate for this. I would reach out to your database. Call everybody in your phone, A to Z. Tell them you've got an amazing platform that we're helping sellers get the highest and best price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle, liability, and expense. Now, you can let them know. So if they know anybody that's looking to sell, maybe themselves, they can reach out to you and talk about the platform. I always give them my cell phone, and they go in and type the message, Robert, to 76626. So they have my V card. I'm having dialogue with those sellers, so we're communicating. But it's the best way to take listings, guys, because at the end of the day, my message is very simple to the sellers. Use my proprietary marketing program where I drive all the advertising, all the marketing, all the exposure for their home, control when their home is shown, no random showings. We do a 1 day by appointment only open house. We request proof of funds and pre-approval letter from all of our borrowers, all our buyers. We get them top dollar, handle the entire transaction, sell it in 14 days or less, and they paid only what they already have agreed to pay should I bring them an offer. Would that interest you? That is the simple script and message to these sellers. So this is my listing presentation. I have it up on a Zoom call, just like I'm showing you right now. Now, sometimes I don't go through the whole platform because I know the platform. I know exactly what my message is. You should learn. If you learn nothing, learn this right here. Learn the script. If you learn the script, then you'll know exactly how to talk to these sellers. Now, if they have a question about how this open house showings will go, you can take them to this slide. If they have a question about where's this marketing, how are you going to market my home, you can show them this. What kind of traffic should I expect? This is the slide you can show them. You can show them, well, why would I price it low? Explain this to them and have them answer this question. So I don't necessarily go through all the slides, but I know where they are in the event I need to give it to them. So with that said, let's go ahead and open it up for questions. And I can go through the chat box here if you put your questions in here. And let's see if there's any home boss questions. I know there's some Google My Business page questions, lead revenue with Bob Mangold. I know there's some Google questions. Are there any questions about the Home Boss online offers platform? Go ahead and let's open it up to some Q&A. Tyler, any questions that you'd like to ask while we got you on the horn there, brother? Where do I get the slides? Somebody asked. Sandra, you get the slides I can send you. This is my listing presentation. I've sent it to everybody before, but I can certainly send it again. It's easy. All you need to do is you go in here, click on my photo, boom, you delete it. Put your own, put your information. And really all you need to do is update the first slide and the last slide. So all you do is take out my photo, boom, take it out, put yours in. It's that simple. Everything else is all very generic to the platform and to the process. Does that make sense, Sandra? Excellent. What other questions, Tyler? Did I miss anything?
I guess you covered everything. We are working on the new kind of a new intro script, leading in with like a cash offer. How does that work again?
Well, the cash offer, guys, is right here. Because remember, Zillow is not so much doing the cash offers as much lately, but Opendoor and OfferPad and a lot of investors are spending a lot of money. I see the commercials every single day on TV. We'll buy your home for all cash. Well, guys, remember, you can do the same thing. You can reach out to that seller and ask them, have you received a cash offer? Oh, yeah, I've received one from Opendoor, but man, wow, they're charging a lot of fees. You're no different, really. The only thing that's different is you might be a little more aggressive on the price, but not so much. You are different because you're a live, breathing expert in your market. That's what sets you aside. However, if you get somebody that gets a cash offer that obviously it's not going to be to their liking, then, or they may not even know it. If you can introduce that you do that as well. However, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, I do know this, that sellers want the highest and best price unless you're different. And I've never met a seller that said, oh no, if you could do me a favor, get me the lowest offer. And while you're at it, let's see if I can pay as much as possible. It just doesn't happen. If you can get that cash offer, we can certainly run it for you if you don't have your own account. But I recommend you get an iBuyer account. Homeboss.offers is ours. If you can get that conversation and explain to them, that's great for convenience, but I can certainly net you a higher and best price in the shortest amount of time. And you can very much compete with that of an iBuyer in terms of timing. Most iBuyers are 10 days. We can do it in 14 in terms of getting that listed and getting it sold through our online offers platform. Now, it'll need 30 days to close in most cases. I'm asking 25 days for my offers because everything's moving at the speed of light. Lenders are now much quicker than they used to be. Title, escrow, all of them have it down so we can get a much quicker close. So you want to appeal to that seller's greed. That's just no way around it. Sellers want the most amount of money with the least amount of expense. Did I cover the iBuyer platform for you? And Tyler, do you want to go ahead and explain what we're doing for our iBuyer sellers?
As far as
what you're doing in terms of you're reaching out to FSBOs expired and canceled?
yeah, so I prospect canceled, expired, and FSBO leads every morning. And then what I'm doing is anybody that says that they're interested, or anybody that really says that their home is still available, I'm submitting the home and the pictures of the home with as much information as possible to the iBuyer program, which is Zudelia. But the reason I'm doing that is so that I can lead in to a conversation with a cash offer for the client. So it's not just I'm trying to trick the person. I actually have a bona fide offer for the client, and it's a really good way to drop their gate a little bit and let you start a conversation and lead them into the home boss conversation.
And like what Tyler just said, they drop the gate, that wall that every single seller gives us. Oh, it's just another agent. They put on that listening wall, because once you've identified yourself as an agent, they automatically just think you're like all the other agents trying to list their home, which we kind of want the listing. But however, we're going to come with solutions. We have an iBuyer solution should they want to take a discount, or if they want to maximize their efforts and let us do the marketing for 14 days and yield them the highest and best price. It's a great way to at least get in the conversation, because all you need is to get in front of a seller, explain if they want the iBuyer. Ours is certainly better than anybody else's. Plus you get me as a local expert. Number one. Number two, you want to appeal to their wanting to get the highest and best price. So then you can turn them to a home boss listing, get them that highest and best price, drive that massive open house traffic, get them multiple bids, and get them that highest and best price. So that's the way to go. Steve has a question. When offering the cash offer buyer option, do we need our own iBuyer website? You'll eventually need your own, but you can certainly, other agents are using ours to get started with that because there is an expense. I believe it's like $79 a month, if I'm not mistaken. It's very, very affordable, but you can certainly use ours. Just reach out to us. The website's right there, homebossoffers.com, and you can use ours, and we just forward you the information that that Zudelio basically gives back to us. Did I answer that question, Steve? Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, I was just going to say another thing that I'm doing to maximize the amount of exposure for us as agents to those sellers is what I'm doing every day now is I'm adding as many new seller leads into my KV core, and there's a button that allows you to send out evaluations for their home. So it sends like a CMA type report to the seller, and you can send those out every month. So it just helps you keep in front of those people and you're maximizing your time with them.
Amen to that. So let me do this. Now, if there's no questions on the presentation, I'm going to share another screen with you. I'm going to bring this over right here. And this is Riley. The reason I want to bring up Riley is because that's the one I explained to you in the presentation. But this is an example that you want to use when sharing with sellers. But keep in mind, if you've got a $500,000 buyer, or excuse me, seller, you probably want to use a $500,000 example. Like if you have a $1.5 million seller, you want to use a 1.5 or in that range sample. We've got a lot of samples for you to go to. Just go to to our website, 14dayhomeoffers.com. You go to the homepage right here. This is the homepage. You go to view homes. Okay. Here's the ones we have coming up right now. We've got one in Riverside, one in Hemet, one in Cathedral City, and Imperial Beach. These are our live ones. You can see they have the ticker here, the time clock. Okay. These are the ones we just put in escrow or closed. So you want to go through and see which ones work for you. For instance, if you have a duplex, go to the duplex example. You've got a duplex right here and it's 1.4. Now, if you have, let's say you have a clunker, use the clunker example. This one it's probably worse than it looks, but it's certainly doable. And then we have condos where we've had success. I like single family and condos. I don't like to do vacant land and I don't like to do mobile homes because think about how big is the buyer pool. Go after the single family and the condos. And this is the best way to go about it. But go in here and pick, look at some of these and use these examples. You can go in, I've got pages and pages of examples that you can use as your own. If you feel compelled to take a mobile home, there's a mobile home. Not a lot of interest in those. I don't like mobile homes personally because why? But if you want to, here's a condo, here's a single family home, here's a 2-story. Look at all the different examples. Here's high end. You want a high end property, use this as an example. I have sellers go, oh, that only works for the lower end properties. Well, I want to show you an example where it worked for a high end property. So go through here and actually look. This is the best example I like to use because it's got a great story that I shared with you. The seller wanted 675. We got her 780. Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, does that sound something you'd be interested in? How could they say no? This seller only paid 2% and the buyers paid the difference through the agent compensation. We used to call it buyer premium. Okay. Use these examples like they're yours. Oh, but these are San Diego. So we use them all over the country. We've got a listing today in New Jersey. We got Rosa in Georgia. We're using this all over the country, guys. So use these examples. Go find the home that matches your needs and use this as the example. We've got tons of them. Sure, we've got vacant lots, right, Sharon? We've got a vacant lot right here. It's a smaller buyer pool, but we can certainly do it. Here's a condo. Here's a single family home that needed some work. You've got all kinds of opportunities here to use these examples. If you do get a vacant lot, use the vacant lot as an example. We had 5 offers, got the seller way more than he wanted. My point is, go find the samples that work for you and use these samples as your own. Make sense? Questions about the My Home Boss site? Any questions in the chat box? I don't see any, but definitely go in here and use these as an example, okay? Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I don't know how to get the leads. Well, I can assure you that you've all received this email. This talks about, I've got marketing in here. I've got samples of the postcards that I send out. I've got a yikes letter for after the open house. Here's the Home Boss formula, exactly how the Home Boss system works. I'll open it up for you so you can kind of see what's happening here. This right here, this is the one. Let's see right here. And this is the Home Boss formula. You got a 14 days, but you need at least 10 days in the MLS. You want to market that home. Let the buyer pool fill up. You want to price it 15% below market. You want to upload 6 photos. I don't go nuts and do 30, 40 photos. I only do a few good photos because I don't want to tell the whole story. I want them coming to the open house, guys. You can do a broker's open. If you want to do a mini lunch and learn, go to Caravan and do a broker's caravan the Thursday before the open house for agents to explain how the process works, because some of our biggest hurdles are explaining a new platform that agents that don't like change. It's fantastic to do this. Here's some of the minimum requirements, but everybody's going to get a copy of this. So check it out. You've got the online offers. If you decide that you want me to mentor you, we can certainly do that. And a lot of you on this call have gone through that process or are going through it right now. The MLS Remarks will give you an example of how it goes. We've got a sample of the listing agreement. I've got some marketing. Here's my listing presentation for those of you that said they want a copy of the listing presentation. It's right here. Okay. All you need to do is go through this email and see all the attachments. Here's the scripts. If you want to get with me and have me help you close these sellers, reach out to me. Here's the script. Hi, this is Robert with EXP calling about your property at 123 Main Street. Is it still available? No. Did you pull it off the market? Do you plan on selling it in the future? A lot of expireds and cancels will say, no, it's not on the market right now. But if you just say, oh, okay, thank you. But what if they say, no, it's not available. And you say, did you pull it off the market? And they respond with, no, it expired. So I'm interviewing new agents. Bingo. Instead of hanging up because they said no, ask them the other question. Did you pull it off the market? Do you plan on selling it in the future? Expireds and cancels, there's a reason why they had it on the market. And if it didn't sell, it's usually because the agent didn't market it right or the sellers were way too ambitious for their sales price. And it's always the second agent that gets a crack at a overpriced listing that gets the listing and gets it sold. So you want to follow these scripts as much as you can. Now, you're going to tweak it and make sure that you it flows off your tongue perfectly, but role play this. We have role playing every Tuesday from 10 to 12 Pacific inside the team suite. If you want to get me involved, have my Calendly link set up. Go in here, click the Calendly link and say, okay, great. I'm on the phone. I'm prospecting right now with sellers. You know what? I'm going to need Robert's assistance to get this done. You go to my calendar. It's right here. And you say, okay, Mr. Seller, I've got a 4 o'clock or is 4:30 better for you? Well, you know what? I don't get off until 4:30. Can we do 5? Certainly. Is 5 good, or should we go ahead and go with 5:30, get you time to get settled in? Okay, let's get you 5:30. We confirm that meeting. You type in your email. The seller's email goes here. Type in the seller's email and then see right here, it says, please share anything to help prepare for the meeting. Give me the details of that seller, their name, their cell phone, their goal price. Is there going to be an open house? And I've sent out emails with examples and I'll send it out again. Just put that in here. One thing of caution, don't put in here, oh, I talked to this seller. He was a real jerk, but you know what? I think, Robert, because you know this platform, I think we can get him. When you add that seller to this appointment, they see everything you write. So don't do that. Only give me what I asked for. The property address, the name of the seller, their cell phone, what they're willing to pay, their MLS remarks or the Zillow remarks, your Calendly link and all that. Fill it out and send it to me so we're prepared for that meeting, because we want to pull up the Zillow link. We want to show that seller our presentation. We want to have all the answers in front of us. Then all you need to do is schedule the event, and that's it. You don't need to call me and say, Robert, are you available on this time? This means I'm available. So when you go to this Calendly link right here, it tells you that I'm available these times on Friday, these times on Monday. There's ample times. And if you need to go into February, here's my February schedule. What I would recommend, though, is don't take too long to get with a seller that's interested. If for some reason this time doesn't work for you, text me. Like, obviously, right now we're doing this class, so I couldn't just stop what I'm doing and jump on a Zoom call with you. But text me and let me know, hey, I've got a seller. They need to meet Saturday at 10. Are you available? My calendar doesn't allow me to take meetings on Saturday or Sunday. So I'd have to manually put it in. I take meetings all the time on weekends. Okay. So just text me if it's not available time in here and you've got a seller that wants to make it happen, or you have an agent that wants to join your team, reach out to me and let's put something on the calendar. Okay. So that's the Calendly link. Now, the next thing we need to go over is we need to go over the My Plus leads. So if you don't have My Plus leads, I would recommend you get it because there's 6 of them right here. This seller is selling a 199, probably a condo up in Oceanside. You've got a property up in Ramona for 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Here's the cell phone. Here's their email. Here's all their contact information. You've got a Rancho Santa Fe, 1.2, 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath. Here's their phone number. And I actually know this person. So what you do is if they don't have an email, that's okay. There's their cell phone right here. And if you notice there's the do not call, it doesn't say do not text. So text them. I'm finding that when I'm making phone calls, I don't get much as response back as I do when I'm texting. Now, everybody's going to have different results. Everybody's going to have their own historical data to fall back on. But I can tell you this, if you don't make the effort and make the calls, you won't have any numbers to really gauge by. So make the calls, get out there and check this out. So this right here is a fantastic way. These are all sellers that are either expired, canceled, or FSBOs. And this is every single day they come in. This is your hit list for what you want to do. Yesterday, we had 9. We had a couple canceled, couple expireds, no real FSBOs to speak of. That's okay. These are sellers that have already listed with an agent that it just didn't work out. Here's a couple more expired. So you want to go through this and really, really hammer it. Okay. So we talked about the Home Boss platform. We talked about an example on Riley. We talked about My Plus leads. We talked about the scripts. What I want to do is I want to show you Home Boss University. When you get your own Home Boss site, which it's as I look at it, Home Boss as your MLS dues. It's just something you need to succeed in the real estate business. So what you need to do is you need to apply for a Home Boss online offers platform. I'll walk you through that. That's why we have our mentorship program, so you totally understand how the program works. So this is fantastic. Safwan, have a good day, buddy. So this is the Home Boss, how you sign up for it. So I wanted to go over that. Now, what I want to do is I want to play a 9-minute video for you. So pay attention to this. If you've not seen it, this is awesome. I'm going to share my screen with you right here. Go ahead and watch this. Put your questions in the chat box and let's go. Check this out.
Welcome to Exp Realty. This is an overview of one of the most innovative real estate brokerage models today. A global community designed, powered, and owned by our agents and partners, transforming the real estate experience. Our family of agents build their own businesses while having equity opportunities in Exp World Holdings. As technology has transformed entertainment, hospitality, transportation, and retail, it's now transforming the real estate industry. There's been little to no innovation with the old-fashioned real estate models. Franchise brokerages all start with the company at the top, which feeds down to regions, followed by offices or market centers, followed by a local manager or team leader. The focus was on the brokerage and their brand, not on the agent and their business. The evolution of real estate brokerages has always been driven by how agents get paid. This can be clearly seen with EXP's growth compared to old-fashioned models. At Exp Realty, we've eliminated old-fashioned bloat by removing franchises, territories, brick and mortar, and redundant layers of management. By doing this, we've created opportunity to give equity back to the agents and have made the agent the focal point of their business. We do this by having multiple income opportunities within our model and leveraging our fully immersive cloud office environment where agents enjoy 24/7 access to state-of-the-art collaborative tools, coaching, support, and socialization. Exp Realty continues to experience consistent record-breaking year-over-year growth with a mission to reach 1 million agents globally. It all began in the United States and Canada, with Exp Realty perfecting the model over the first 10 years laying the foundation for our global expansion. Our international footprint now expands over 6 of the 7 continents. Our core values define our culture and ensure decisions are always aligned. Like being agile allows us to make adjustments at any time for our agents and their clients. EXP is at the forefront of technology. Every agent gets their own lead generation CRM system called KV Core. For a non-EXP agent, it could cost over $5,000 a year. This industry-leading system provides you with a behavioral-driven, personalized IDX website, CRM, email, and text campaigns. You'll always be notified of your contact's behavior, helping you convert and close more transactions. SkySlope allows agents to manage their business totally paperless. This all-in-one transaction management system helps you effortlessly stay organized with your transactions. All of your important data is contained on one detailed checklist, so you have everything in one place. One of our top priorities is building our own technology. Our back-office business intelligence center gives agents both autonomy and great visibility into their business. Within your dashboard, you'll be able to monitor your performance metrics, commissions, revenue share, equity awards, transactions, and more. Whether you need a quick postcard or a full presentation, the EXP Marketing Center has it all. You can edit marketing collateral within minutes by choosing from over 5,000 marketing pieces. In fact, when a new listing is added to your MLS, you'll get an email with marketing items created automatically for your listing. Welcome to EXP World, our 3-dimensional virtual cloud-based office environment. Meet, learn, and collaborate with agents and staff from anywhere with an internet connection. Join a meeting or training within a community via your phone, tablet, or computer. In EXP World, agents get real-time live support from our over 400 full-time staff members. Access over 80 hours of live training weekly in EXP World. Our training focuses on industry best practices, how to grow profitable real estate business, professional development, and much more. These sessions are taught not only by our highly experienced training department professionals, but also by our top producing agents and teams from around the world. EXP Realty agents also have access to Workplace by Facebook, which is a dedicated and secure working space to connect, communicate, and collaborate with other agents and EXP staff. You'll be able to use familiar Facebook features like newsfeed, groups, messages, and events to get things done quickly and efficiently. We understand that some agents enjoy the office setting from time to time, which is why every agent at EXP gets a global membership to Regus shared offices and their new brand spaces. Regus offers 3,000 office locations in over 900 cities in 120 countries. Every agent at EXP has the opportunity to become a shareholder in EXP World Holdings. Earn equity awards for closing your first transaction each year, capping each year, and every time an agent you attracted joins EXP and does their first transaction. Our agent equity program helps agents prepare for retirement. You can elect to take 5% of your gross commission per transaction and buy the company's stock at a 10% discount. Our ticker symbol is EXPI. Note that some stock awards are subject to vesting. EXP's Icon Agent program is unmatched within the industry. Our founder, Glenn Sanford, strongly believes that top-producing agents should be rewarded for their contribution. There are 2 ways to qualify for Icon status: $5,000 paid in post-cap transaction fees, or $500,000 annual GCI with a minimum of 10 closed transactions. When you achieve Icon status, you'll receive 100% of your cap that you paid to EXP back in the form of company stock, essentially putting you at a 100% commission split. One of the most exciting aspects of our compensation plan is our revenue sharing model, which allows you to build a monthly leveraged income by attracting productive agents to the company. Here's a breakdown of how the revenue sharing model works. Tier 1 contains the agents that you personally attracted to the brokerage. For each transaction on this tier, you'll get 3.5% of their total commission. This amount is taken out of EXP's 20%, not out of the agent's 80% commission. Once the agent has hit their annual cap, they start receiving 100% of their commissions. You therefore no longer receive income from their deals for the remainder of the year, which is why the max you can earn on this tier per agent is $2,800. You can earn on all 7 tiers, but it's contingent upon how many agents you've personally attracted to the brokerage and their level of production. For example, if you attract 5 producing agents, you earn exponential share in commissions on Tier 1 and Tier 2, which are agents that your Tier 1 agents attracted. If you attracted 10 producing agents, you earn exponential share in commissions on Tier 1, Tier 2, and also on Tier 3, which are agents that your Tier 2 agents attracted. On Tiers 4 through 7, you'll still receive a reduced share in commissions, which is called our expansion sharing. So let's go through a quick example of how you can create a monthly leveraged income through the revenue share program. Here's you. You personally attract 5 capping agents. Then, each of those 5 agents attract 5 capping agents of their own, giving you 5 agents of Tier 1 and 25 agents on Tier 2. For the 5 capping agents on Tier 1, you earn up to $2,800 each. And for the 25 capping agents on Tier 2, you earn up to $3,200 each, giving you an annual leveraged income of up to $94,000. But note that these figures are based on each one of these agents capping, which is approximately selling $2.7 million of real estate per year, with an average commission of 3%. You can speak to an EXP agent or staff member for further explanation. Express offers a revolutionary new home selling option for homeowners who want to skip the hassle and uncertainty of a traditional home sale. The platform connects sellers with institutional buyers who can pay cash and close quickly. Unlike other iBuyer platforms, Express Offers allows agents to receive real estate commissions. At EXP, you'll never pay a desk fee, royalty fee, or franchise fee. Every agent is treated equally and is on an 80-20 split, which caps each year at $16,000. You then receive 100% commission for the remainder of your year. Here's the amazing part. It's only $149 to join EXP, and that includes your first month's $85 brokerage fee. On each transaction, there's a $25 broker review fee and a $40 risk management fee. The risk management fee caps at $500 each year. We're also excited to announce that we've added a low-cost healthcare alternative. Our agents get a one-on-one virtual consultation to ensure they've selected the right plan. Exp Realty continues to set industry records, becoming the #1 independent brokerage in the U.S. for closed transactions. For more information, reach out to the agent who shared this video with you.
Okay, guys, what do you think? That's a pretty cool video, huh? We just got that released and it's available for any of you to use. Now, one thing to remember is when you do use this, it'll have my information on it. So I would recommend if you don't have CRM Grow, get it. It's awesome. And it's very affordable, but it's a great way to do agent attraction. Yeah, Adele, that video is awesome, huh? But it's a great way to do agent attraction. And it's just very, very nicely done. So I recommend you check out that site. Now, one thing I want to go to next is I want to go to buildingupagents.com. Buildingupagents.com is not only a great resource for you, the agent, but it's a great resource for you to use when you're attracting other agents to your organization, because you're going to need to have buyer agents. You're going to need to have agents across the country that you know, love, and trust. Reach out to them. I would recommend that almost a homework assignment for everybody on this call is write down a list of 100 agents that you've met, know that you have in your phone, and reach out to them. Send them this information, and you just want to introduce the opportunities to grow their business. The last thing you want to do is have recruiter breath, but we want to share this. If we know, love, and trust these agents, I'd feel remiss if I didn't at least introduce them to this fabulous platform we have to not only become the best possible producing agent as possible, but actually have a business, a buildable business. So, because remember, building up agents is our goal, is to have the most productive agents in the business. So go through the website, go through this, get to know what we're doing, see the benefits of our organization, really understand it, not only for yourself, but understand it so you can share this message, because production is our #1 priority. We have coaches on just about every single real estate topic there is. We have exclusive listing tools, like I've mentioned earlier, the Home Boss selling system. You should get 2 to 3 listings a week if you really do this right. But I can tell you this, think about if you just had 1 extra listing a month, that's 12 listings a year. What does that add up? What's your average sales price times your average commission you get paid on a listing, and see what that adds up for you. So you want to explain this to not only your team, but to agents that you know, love, and trust. We have access to lead gen systems where obviously our revenue share is phenomenal, and it takes some time to build it. But I tell you what, once you get it going, it's like a freight train. There's no stopping it. You want to go through here and get a more detailed overview of EXP. I just showed you, I think it might have been longer than 9 minutes, but I can certainly tell you it's a shorter version than our EXP Explained, which is 29 minutes, 13 seconds. But it's a fantastic introduction to EXP. Go watch this video, understand it so you can best explain it to your friends and family in the real estate business. But more importantly, you want to know what the features and benefits are, so you're taking full advantage of everything EXP has to offer. If anybody has anybody in Mexico, agents in Mexico, I have a number of agents on our team that are in Mexico. Here's the Mexico business model explained. And if you have any commercial folks, show them this commercial video. It's fantastic. So go through the website, buildingupagents.com, and see the coaches. I would recommend you go in to the world, to our team suite, and go meet with all the coaches. Here's me, here's Norm, here's Joe, Tom, Bob. You've got all kinds of awesome opportunities to meet with all these different coaches that donate their time. They basically are there for 2 hours a week on all these topics: Instagram, flipping homes. We have a couple Tom Ferry coaches. We have some Club Wealth coaches. We even have a Tony Robbins coach. I mean, where can you say that? It's unbelievable the amount of resources we have to help you grow your business, and they're all available to our team. So reach out to these guys. We even got a money manager, because yes, you can certainly make a lot of money in real estate, and you want to make sure you're managing your money properly. So go see these coaches. Here's their coaches hours right here. You just click on this link. It'll take you to all the coaches hours. You can see that most of the coaches are in our team suite after our team meetings, which are every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And all the coaches a lot of the coaches are lined up after that, because that's when everybody's in the office. But we have Monday through Friday coaching going on. So I'd recommend you get in there and check it out. It is fantastic. We have our online offers platform, which is under our listing tools. So this is our video that Bob and I did. You got to ask yourself, could you take more listings if you use that Home Boss platform? Could you take more listings if you offer the seller an opportunity to get the most amount of money? You can certainly have the 0 commission option, but I don't recommend using that right out of the gate. We have our cash investor marketplace. So we've got a lot of tools for you agents and to share not only with yourself, but with other agents out there. So go through the Building Up Agents website. One thing I would recommend you do is reach out to me and let me know how I can help you. One thing I want to point out as we finish up this call, I send this email out every single week, and Tyler's been kind enough to put together a Google Drive that he's sending out all of our documents, all of our meetings, all of our stuff, so you can go to one place to look at it. But join us on Mondays for our goals and actuals. It's every Monday we meet goals and actuals. Tuesdays in our team suite, there's the password, Go Team Go. Then we have our coaching hours for the Home Boss, where we're 2 hours of all things Home Boss. It's fantastic. Right now, we're doing our EXP certification for relocation. If you're not doing that, I'd recommend you go to that. And then today, this morning, we had an amazing guest. Scott Lewis came on and talked about growing your revenue share team. It was fantastic. And there's a lot of great stuff coming down the pipe in terms of what things are going on with EXP. And then, of course, you have the on-demand webinars. I would recommend you watch these. Really learn and see what's going on and see what we have happening over here at EXP. So with that said, I wanted to kind of go through that with you. I wanted to go through the Home Boss platform. I want to go through our Building Up Agents website. I think the biggest thing to remember is really know what you're doing for yourself. And then the more you know, the more you can share.